Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of Generational Wrestling Podcast. As always, as you were truly the 29-year-old piece of gold franchise, aka the showstopper, better known as the GOW's resident tribal chief. And with me, as always, I got my tag team partner, my brother, my family. He is the flyest in the room, Mr. 1, 2, 3. Pin that ass down, K Breezy, aka EC's resident Isaac Hayes, King Tuco in the building, bro. What's going on? Uh-oh, your mic muted, bro. Fro, what's good?
Nothing much, man. Fro, what's good, man? What's up, Fro? What up, bro? Man, we got a little bit of Stratusfaction. We got a little bit of the deranged, insane Dexter Loomis, and then we got a return of Mr. Johnny Gargano himself, man. As of right now, man, we are watching Damien Priest and Edge give us this main event match, and Edge's return to Toronto, first time in 10 years on Raw.
Absolutely, absolutely. Fro, what's good? Earl, what's up? Fro says, wasn't Raw in T-Town last week? I believe that was 2 weeks ago, right? 2 Mondays ago?
No, last week it was about a C. I think it was like a C or a C plus.
No. He's saying wasn't it in C-Town as it wasn't in Cleveland.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that was last week.
Was it last week?
That was last week.
Oh, shit. All right, well, no,
maybe it was 2 weeks. Maybe it was 2. It was 2 weeks. It was the 8th. It was 2 weeks. It was on the 8th.
And then it was AEW here last week.
AEW was here. No, AEW is here this week. The Moxley versus Punk match is this week. AEW's in Cleveland this week.
Yeah.
WWE was in Cleveland 2 Mondays ago. So yeah.
Man, it's confusing, but thank you. All right, with that being said, let's get right into it. So we started off tonight, man. We got Riddle and Rollins in the back. They fighting to start off the show. Then we get our girl, 6-time WWE Women's Champion.
7 times, sir. 7 times. 7-time champion. 7 times.
She did win it 7 times.
7 times. Mickie James is 6-time WWE Women's Champion.
Yes. And the first ever woman alongside Lita to main event on Monday Night Raw. Got to give her flowers. But hey, we in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, baby. We got the legend. Hey, look, man, 7-year-old me was extremely blushing and happy to see this young lady come out to the ring.
I'm sure you was.
This time I make, what I'm saying, when that music hit that laugh hit, and we got that girl Trish Stratus, she definitely delivered 100% Stratusfaction guaranteed. Then of course she came out, she cut a promo saying, you know what, this felt like home. And in the middle of her seeming like she was going somewhere with the promo, we had Bayley and Control come out, and Bayley sat there and said, who the hell is Trish Stratus? And then of course the EST of WWE, the Raw Women's Champion from Knoxville, Tennessee, had to come out, and she had to let Bayley know who the hell Trish Stratus was. Long story short, man, all this built up to our first match of the night, women's tag team title semifinal between Alexa Bliss and Asuka versus Dakota Kai and Iyo Sky. Bro, this match is pretty good, but one of my favorite moments of the night, and I think a lot of people's favorite moments, you finally got to see Asuka and Iyo Sky somewhat touching the ring a little bit, and you've seen the potential of that. When Asuka was on the main roster and Iyo was in NXT, and it seemed like Iyo had nowhere else to go after her dominant reign as NXT Women's Champion, people kind of clamored for that. It was a dream match, and we kind of got it to a degree. First things first, Tuco, what did you think of the return of Trish Stratus? 1, 2, what did you think of this tag team match?
It's always seeing Stratusfaction, man. That's Trish Stratus, man. If you were able, and I mean, man, if you were able to see Trish Stratus in all her glory, man,
yes, sir.
You won. You won, my friend. You won. All right, man. Oh, you won. Now, Trish coming back and her sound like, hey, I'm not, I'm retired, but to phrase it in a different way, but a bitch can come back whenever she want to. All right, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that's where she was getting to. She got to it later on with Bayley, but I think that's what she was itching. Like, you know what? Maybe I do got one more match in me. I do feel good. I got the yoga thing jumping off. I'm winning awards left and right, going to the Hall of Fame. I still feel good. I still feel like I can do this thing. And obviously seeing the talent that has come after her and what they have become. Yeah, man. No, you can best believe, if that bug is there a little bit, that wrestling bug for her, Hey man, she Trish Stratus. She can come back and fight anybody. I think anyone on that roster would be honored to step in the ring with Trish Stratus and just say I went toe to toe with Trish Stratus.
Buzzing with Marlo podcast. First of all, thank you for joining us. Says
Man,
she faced
appreciate you, man.
Bailey at Survivor Series. Ooh, I can see it. I can see it. I can see it.
I can see it being a control kind of thing. Oh, referee's gone. Oh, there go Charles Robinson. I can see a 5-on-5. I could see maybe control getting the services of Dewdrop and Nikki Ash, and then they're going up against Oscar Bliss. If Belair's not in the match, then it's Trish, and then you would just have to add two other people. But I'm sure they can get two other people uh, to row with that group. Um, but I can see something like that, 1-on-1 maybe. But if they're doing 1-on-1, I see that happening a lot sooner than possible than later. I think
Yeah.
it would happen way before Survivor Series. That we'll get a 1-on-1 between Bailey and Trish Stratus, but definitely see it happening, and then definitely want to see it. So yeah, most definitely.
All right. I hope I'm saying your name right. If I'm not, forgive me. But we got Jaco Robertson. What's going on?
Jaco, what up,
And if I
man? What up?
said
Welcome to the
and if,
podcast,
and if,
bro.
and if, and if I said your name wrong, please definitely make sure you spell out the syllables for me in the comments. I won't be embarrassed.
Hey,
I'll
we
say
hood brothers, man. We from the hood,
it.
man. We from the
Absolutely.
hood, man.
Absolutely.
Man,
Absolutely.
I mean, we street smart. We smart, but you know, we still from the
Hey,
hood.
hey, look, we read when we can. I just play. Hey, like, it's
He
serious.
said, not when we must, but we read when we can. When we
Hey,
can, we can read. We can read a
hey,
little bit. We can read a little bit.
you gotta be like, Siri, what is this person's name?
Hey, no, you can't do that, man, because Siri will butcher some names, man. She will butcher the shit out of some names.
Buzz and Marlowe
Man.
podcast. It would have to be on a big marquee show, and Survivor Series is the main big one coming up. Absolutely, absolutely.
Hey, that is very true, but I also think you don't necessarily have to do that because I think you put that on a pay-per-view. Did Edge just do a sunset flip? What the fuck?
Hey, look, man, don't sleep on the rated R superstar, man. He in his hometown. He feeling different right now.
I guess so, as he just hit the spear
My
and he
man,
picked
Edge
up the
feeling
victory.
different.
Wow.
Come on, man.
Wow. I'm sorry. I had to break off from that one, man.
Come on. Edge ain't
Uh
losing his first match in his hometown in 10 years. Come on now, too cold.
I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't mind some shenanigans. I know some shenanigans happen. You think Judgment Day ain't finna come out and do some stuff? Come
Oh,
on
of
now.
course. Of course.
I figured they would have came out for the match to add that little extra spice, but they didn't. Um, what were we talking about? Damn.
We're talking about
Edge,
Survivor.
Trisha Bates. I could see them putting it on the next pay-per-view to bring eyes to that pay-per-view to see what they set up. I mean, because it could be a marquee match. It's a marquee match. You want to put it on a marquee show, but you can also put it on the pay-per-view to put more eyes on it. But I could see it. I mean, maybe Survivor Series would be the one. As Judgment Day showed up.
Fro says they could put Trish versus Bailey when Monday Night Football returns. Hey, they gonna need something.
Right, with Monday Night Raw, with Raw being this, they definitely could save it for something. I see that happening sooner than later.
Yeah.
If they're building the seeds for it now, that's why I say Survivor Series, maybe. But oh no, you ain't. Oh y'all don't mess with the Glamazon. Y'all do not mess with the
Hey,
Glamazon.
you know
She
what we
will
working
smack a
towards?
bitch.
You
She
know
will
we working.
smack you.
You know we working towards a Rhea Ripley versus Beth Phoenix now,
Hey,
right?
I ain't mad at it.
You know
I
that's
am
what we
not
working
mad
towards.
at it, bro.
And they
Hey, the Glamazon is not one to be messed with,
and they
especially
actually
not about her man.
and they actually exchanged words a few weeks back on Twitter. Them two. So
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
yeah.
I
So
saw that.
what a nice way to pay off a storyline.
Oh
But
yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's all right.
but as we
That's all
got that.
right.
But as we got that going on, so then we get a Dolph Ziggler interview who's interrupted by Finn Balor. That led to a match between
Hey,
Ziggler and
I ain't gonna
Balor.
lie.
Balor ended
I ain't
up
gonna
picking
lie.
up the victory. It was a good back and forth match. The crowd was hot. Dolph ended up looking like he was going to get the win until my boy Finn Balor got the assist from Rhea Ripley with a stiffy, and that led to a 1916, followed by a coup de grace, followed by a 1-2-3, two code, Ziggler, Balor. Thoughts?
I like the beginning. I like when Ziggler smacked the shit out of him and he
Yeah.
fell on the ground and he came back like, you just gonna sit on your ass like a bitch or you gonna come to the ring? I say, yeah, all right, okay, Triple H, I like it. I had to applaud that one. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. You know what? I didn't really kind of care to see Finn Balor versus Dolph Ziggler, but I ended up watching after that. I ended up watching Dolph Ziggler versus Finn Balor, and it was exactly what I thought it would be. Two guys that know how to work the ring and put on a very good match. It just made me want to watch it instead of me knowing that it would have been a BS type of match if
Yeah.
run by someone else. Uh, but considering we're getting to see guys be competitive and we're seeing them get to tell their story in the ring as far as what they do, I had no problem with this match. I thought it was a good match. Uh, Clearly, Triple H is letting Dolph do something that Dolph probably should have did 10 years ago, that
Yeah.
they should have let him do and let him kind of be. Uh, and then, for Finn Balor to, I don't know, man. It was just, I don't know. I just liked that whole little segment, man. It was just, he ran out and then he came back and looked like, you still on the ground? Come on, man, come get this ass whooping. Come on, man.
Right, 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 right.
Like, come on, man. I don't know, man. That just made me a little more invested into it. It's like, damn. All right. Hey, he came back to check on you, make sure you all right, so you can get this ass whooping. Yeah, go get up so you can go get that ass whooping. But it was a good match. Please Balor ended up getting the victory. But
Hmm.
no, it was good. It was a good match, and sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes you just need a little subtlety to add spice to something. That little subtlety just in the beginning, just with them interacting, added a little spice to the match, and it wasn't nothing ginormous or anything, or gigantic or anything like that, man. But it was enough, and it was solid. I I got no problem with that.
All right, next up, so we get an interview with Aaliyah in the back. She gets confronted by Bailey in control, which ended up leading to a match between Aaliyah and Bailey later on. And then we get Chad Gable and Alpha Academy. They come out, they issue an open challenge. Who comes
Shoes,
out?
please.
Of course, no one but Kevin Owens, the prize fighter, Canada's finest. He comes out. These two put on a hell of a match. It was vicious. It was hard hitting. We got suplexes on the ring apron. We got a whole bunch of ass kickery going on. My boy Kevin Owens, of course, ended up picking up the victory. But bro, talk to me, man. Chad Gable, he was kind of getting a little bit of a push, from Vince when Vince was there. But now that Triple H is really there, and I hate to use this term, but I'm gonna say it. He's pushing the wrestlers, and which happen to be a lot of the smaller guys, the technicians. Gable has really, really increasingly looked good, and I feel like his mic work has gotten even better. He was already good, but I feel like his mic work is really adding to his character in his matches. What are your thoughts?
No, I think it is because he's been such the mouthpiece for Otis that
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of had no choice but to get better.
Yeah,
Um, we talked about it before, where, man, do you see what I see? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, man, this dude should have been the son of Kurt Angle.
yeah,
This is the guy that you should have had, because that could have took off really for him. But
yeah.
it is what it is. Uh, as far as the match between Kevin Owens and uh, Chad Gable, excellent match. Man, again, it was another good match. I like the fact that, like you say, they're letting the wrestlers get time. They're letting them tell their stories. You're building. it's almost kind of it's almost kind of old school,
Yeah,
because that's kind of what old school was. Old school wrestling, back in the 80s. I mean, even the 70s and whatever. You had the entertain, but you always had good solid matches, or you had guys that knew how to work, or you always had that. You never got time with it for the last 10 years. It was always a joke or a segment or just something to kind of spot fest the crowd a little bit. But we got to see a guy we know is very good and technical in the ring, and Chad Gable, go up against a guy that we like seeing be the guy that he is right now, Kevin Owens, and we got to see them be the best of what they can be, and that's wrestling. That's what I like. I understand the pecking order. The pecking
Yeah.
order isn't the problem. Like that's not the issue. And the issue is, can this guy go out here and prove that he's, he can handle himself in the ring? Can work? Can he make the other guy? Can one guy make the other guy look just as good? And that's what you saw in this match. And I love that. And like you say, Chad Gable, he's on a rise. He's gonna get there. And when he gets there, yeah, man, watch out. But I'm okay with the smaller wrestler, man, because I mean, one thing about the bigger wrestler, yeah, some guys can work, but they were always the same. They were always the same, man. Big bulky guys. There was only so much they can do, and there was only a handful of guys like Vader and Bam Bam Bigelow and those type of guys that did different stuff. So you didn't have a whole lot of them. Now, that new version of type of record is the Chad Gables and other people, and even though they may not be the world champions, those kind of guys back then had opportunities to have a moment, and Chad can have a moment. So I'm looking at it. I'm seeing the evolution of what wrestling is. I'm seeing what Triple H is putting down. I see what he wants to present to the crowd and to the people, and what he wants to present is wrestling. He wants to give you wrestling. He's going to give you the wrestling he knows, but he's going to give it to you with the people you recognize, and the way that they, and the evolution of where wrestling is now. I'm good with it, man, because we see that we're going from the big bulky guys to the smaller guys, but the smaller guys are putting on the best matches, and people aren't used to that because they've been used to what Vince is putting out. So that's why I say it's going to take time for people to get used to this type of wrestling. We love it. Those who truly, we love it. We love what we're seeing. But it's going to take people a minute. But tonight, this match, Owens versus Gable, it was definitely an example of that. To me, at least it was.
Next up, of course, we get Leah versus Bailey. Bailey ended up picking up the victory. Then we get a tag team match. We get Ciampa and Miz versus Styles and Lashley, and it was good for the most part until we get that screwy ass finish. Because of course, for what, the third week in a row, we got Dexter Loomis interfering in the match. This time, he ended up choking out
I
the Miz
mean,
and dragging him all the way to the depths of hell. I guess technically, Miz Miz and Ciampa won the match via DQ, but it's like, all right, this is where it's starting to get a little Vinnie Macish. It's like, all right, man, you did it 2 weeks in a row already. We already know who it is. This is Dexter Loomis. If you're gonna do something with him, do something with him. But again, I digress. Too cold thoughts.
real quickly, they shouldn't have. They should have revealed him last week. Once it was revealed that it was him in Cleveland, you should have revealed him last week against the Miz. But you should have had him do that against Miz, like when Miz was trying to help. Was that in Cleveland? Was the United States Championship match in Cleveland? Or yeah, it was. So
It was
when
yeah,
it
it
was
was Cleveland.
Bobby versus Styles, you should have revealed Dexter Loomis then. And because it was like, all right, man, we already saw that it's him. So the next week, you could have just had him come out doing a little shenanigans and then just showing up and then fucking with the Miz. Doing it a third week and still pretending like we don't know who it is. Like, I think that was the thing for me. It was like, because you saw them walking up before they got to the ring, Bobby Lashley and
Yeah.
AJ Styles, and you kind of saw the antics of something on fire and people trying to figure out where the fuck did it start. It's like, bruh, nah, y'all should have did this last week. To me, they should have did this last week.
Fro says, who's the other guy before Loomis appeared? They pulled his hood back and I didn't recognize him. I thought that was Loomis at first, and then I seen Loomis. I was like, I don't know who the hell the first guy was.
I think that it was a decoy because Loomis was on the other side with a motorcycle helmet on his head. So the fact is, like, which I think he was always on that side waiting. So
which is
it was
crazy
just
because it's
probably
like,
just a
bro,
decoy or
how
something.
you let a fan in? Okay, being a fan, being somebody who's attended a WWE event, how the hell you let somebody sneak in with a whole ass motorcycle helmet? That it's stuff
It,
like
it, it questions. You're right. You question legitimacy of security, but it's like that's why I say they should have did this last week. You should have just had them pop up from out of nowhere, like behind the barricade, whatever. You could have did it in a way where nobody would have saw them. It could have been done right if they'd have did it right. Uh, but hey, this is one of the few negatives of Triple H. It's like hey, he can't be perfect. Man, got to go 3 for 5. He can go 3 for 5. Three for
everybody can't
five
balance
ain't
it
bad.
out. But hey, you know what? Speaking of one thing that he did perfectly,
What's
bro.
that?
Speaking of
Man,
Cleveland, speaking of the
man,
hometown guy, speaking of the
man.
216, the land.
Talk to him. Man,
Man,
talk to him.
we got at the beginning of the 10 o'clock hour. I'm up here, I'm cleaning and shit. I'm scooping up rice off the floor because my kids can't eat correctly. And then I got the music way up high. And then I hear that music hit. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. No, it
Right,
ain't. Say it
right,
ain't so.
right,
Nah, bro.
right,
And then they didn't hit the wave
right.
music. They hit the old school Gargano. I'm like, oh no, it's Rebel Heart. Get out of here. And then it took a minute. I thought somebody was fucking with me because he didn't pop up right away. They let the
No, you got to
anticipation
let that
build.
build up, man. Let
They
that
let it
music
build.
play, so people are like, wait a minute, is this for real? Is this for real? Oh shit, he walked out. Hell yeah, this is
Bro,
for real.
when Johnny Gargano came out, bro, I shrieked like a 3-year-old girl. Okay, I'm about to say something else, but I
Oh,
had to catch me.
Johnny,
I had to catch myself. I was like, holy shit, he's back. Now, I was thinking the same
Johnny!
thing.
Franchise was like, oh my god, it's Johnny!
Hey, I'm like Tommaso Ciampa. I'm patting myself on the back, like, yay!
Hell nah.
Fro says, wouldn't his return?
Johnny!
Fro says, wouldn't his return
Oh
have been
shit.
better if he returned in Town? I was hoping he would have
It
returned in
would
Cleveland.
have.
I thought that
It
would have
would
made the
have.
most sense because the
Oh,
fans
it would
already
have.
expected it. And then you gave us a return anyway. You gave us Dexter Loomis. That could have been Johnny
In
Gargano.
the most awkward ass way. So that's why I was like, man,
Yeah.
if you'd have had him come out, and then by now you could have built up whatever you're gonna build up with him in Austin Theory, which
Yeah.
it could be at Clash at the Castle, which I'm not mad at. That ass a match. But yeah, no, I coming out in Cleveland, I agree with Fro. That probably would have been the better thing to do, but it is what it is. So
Hey, he's back. He's back.
he's
And he
back.
said
He's
this.
back.
He said, I thought I was done with wrestling, and then, I had my son, right? And then, I realized, I had impossible dreams I wanted to achieve. I wanted to be the US. I wanted to be the Intercontinental. I want to be the WWE champion. And what kind of father would I be to my son? And how could I possibly tell him he could do anything he wanted to do if I don't go do the same damn thing? Your boy is back, baby wrestling. He got a baby wrestling chant for his little baby. Bro, Johnny Gargano was back. I know you and I a couple years ago, we wondered, all right, man, how do we see Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa faring on the main roster? We were scared for him before the Street Profits got called up. We were scared for him because how they gonna book him? How they gonna book him? Now you see Triple H is empowered. Tommaso Ciampa, he's getting booked pretty fairly strongly, even with the Miz. You got Johnny Gargano coming out to a huge ovation. Triple H know what time it is. That's one of his guys. Dude, what do you see in the future for the Rebel Heart, Johnny Gargano?
I see the same thing that I'm seeing for everybody else. Opportunity. That's it. That's all I need to see. That's all I need to see. Because I know what I've seen from most of these people. I know people are like, oh, Triple H is just gonna push a lot of his NXT guys. Yeah, I don't blame him because I
Mhm.
watched a lot of these NXT guys. I
Yeah.
know how good a lot of these guys really are, and and most of them, for the
Shit,
most
he
part,
knows
some
how
of them,
good they are.
right, some of them have had some success and they've got some respect.
Yeah.
Others have gotten shitted on because they don't fit the Vince look. That's all it was. It was not that they couldn't wrestle. It wasn't that they weren't totally bad on promos. Uh, hell, a lot of the people that Vince wanted to push was terribly bad on fucking promos.
Yeah.
But they didn't fit a certain look. So because of that, we didn't get to see them in the way that we know how great that they could have been because we saw them in NXT. That's why it's like with Walter, it's like I'm still seeing what I'm seeing from Walter, but it's a bit more of a showcase
Yeah,
with him. And that's understandable. He's on the main roster. He's going to be seen more. Where Walter was almost a mystique a little bit.
yeah.
So I get it. And so far they haven't done anything wrong other than changing his name. That was the only thing that I had a problem with was changing Walter's name. So um I but now with Triple H running it, I have confidence that he will give all of these great talents that we know are good, or at least averagely good, great, Hall of Fame level, whatever, superstar, whatever. He'll find a way to give them an opportunity, and it will be on them. It will be on them to make the best of it.
Nathan says Johnny versus Theory for the case. I wouldn't mind
I'm
seeing that.
thinking that. I'm
I
thinking
wouldn't
that, but
mind
I don't
seeing
know.
that.
I don't know, man. I'm not. Johnny Gargano ain't
I
cashing
don't
in
know if you
on
want to
Brock Lesnar
bury
or Roddy
Theory
Rhodes.
like with a returning Gargano.
I don't know if you want to bury Johnny Gargano trying to cash in on Roman Reigns or Drew McIntyre. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
yeah, yeah,
I'm not really feeling that either. So
yeah.
uh, I'd rather them just have a match and it be Johnny's first match back to get his feet wet, being on the main roster. It really don't. I mean, you can say it's for the briefcase, but I would prefer Theory to still hold on to the briefcase and just make it just make it a regular match because again we Theory already talked about it when he came out to Johnny Girl. You helped guide me in NXT. Now that I've been on the main roster, now that I've been champion, now that I've had a WrestleMania, now that I've done some of the stuff that you haven't done, you can ride my coattails.
Yeah.
Honestly, that right there enough is actually enough for them to have this match, especially with Johnny super kicking them at the end. So it's like, bro, he just said it, man. I'm here for me. I'm gonna do what's for me. And Austin Theory actually makes sense because they have history. So it's not something that's complicated. You don't have to do nothing really big with it to make it make sense. It makes sense already because if you watch NXT, you know where Austin Theory was teamed up with, and you know how that all went. So I'm good with it. Just being a regular match. If you want to make the briefcase a big thing, sure. But I expect Theory to win that because I'm not looking at Gargano. Gargano's not. He's not beating Drew or Roman if one of them walk out with the championship.
Bro,
Kimberly,
we
what's
got
going on, mama?
Kimberly. What up,
What's
Kim?
happening? What's happening?
Call me Mr. Johnson says, I don't want to see Theory lose the case. Earl says, I'm thinking the case gets cashed in on Lashley. Call me Mr. Johnson says, agree. Just have a match. Fro says, whoever cashes in will lose. And Nathan says, Theory is a young Miz.
He's a young, better Miz. Theory's a better in-ring worker than Miz.
It's like
But
the Miz meets what's that dude?
John
They do
Cena. Yeah,
Fandango.
John
Yeah,
Cena.
yeah,
He's John, man. It's John Cena, dude. Theory has that early John Cena thugonomics kind of attitude, arrogance, when he was really the heel, still trying
yeah,
to figure it out. But Theory's been around long enough to master it a little faster and better.
yeah,
Uh, he's arrogant like the Miz, but he can hold his own in the ring like
yeah.
that a lot earlier than Miz could. It took Miz a while before Miz was, respectable. Theory's kind of already been there. He just needed to get out of trouble with that whole Me Too movement and everything that happened, and kind of, the allegations that he kind of took from that, and then him getting sent down to NXT and kind of have to, play a
Work.
role for a while to kind of get himself back in the good graces. So it's not that Theory wasn't good enough. Circumstances happening kind of delayed it, and now he's back on and he's doing his thing. So I would agree with that to a certain degree. He's a loudmouth like the Miz, but I think he's a way better. Even if even now at 24, what is he, 24, 23, 24? He's way far superior than the Miz
All
in
right,
ring
man.
wrestling.
And then to wrap it up, man, we get the rated R superstar for the first time in over 10 years, man. He's wrestling in his hometown of Toronto, Ontario,
On
Canada,
Monday Night Raw,
on
baby.
Monday Night
Monday Night
Raw
Raw.
in the sixth against former United States champion Damien Priest. And it was a pretty decent match. I mean, it was about as good as it's gonna get. But for Edge, man, Edge pulled out a couple moves out the good old bread basket that we ain't expect to see. And then of course, we had the beat down at the end. But bro, hey, look, Edge in the main event. I will say this: Triple H. Triple H definitely knows how to read the room. I mean, we had Edge, we had Trish Stratus, we had Kevin Owens. Hell, I think Aaliyah's even Canadian. So I like how Triple H, man, he took all the hometown favorites and he put them on the card, man. And the crowd was a relatively dead crowd, but whenever their people came out, they showed up and they showed out, man, which is cool. So
And it's gonna be like that next week with Kurt Angle in Pittsburgh.
yeah, exactly. So Triple H, man, he know what he doing. Again, it's like you and I we talked about. It's the little things. It's the little attention to detail. Is everything perfect? What's up?
I don't know if I want that every week though. Like every week, I don't want you bringing out. Oh, here's this. Now here's this hometown legend this week. Now here's this hometown legend this. Now here's this. I don't want that consistently. Like don't. Okay, you brought Trish.
She got booed in her hometown.
Man, so, yeah, for well, because Aaliyah she ain't shit. Not compared to them other people.
Fro says, "Where was Chemo?" Hey, seeing Tony Chemo do the radar superstar.
Hey man, you're right, man. Right. Yeah, he ain't there no more, man. They lost their luster with their announcers. But no, man. But I don't want to. Toronto was a big thing because of Edge. You brought Trish. Johnny Gargano showed up, even though he's not from Canada, but he showed up. So it was like that was cool. Kurt Angle, I'm not really expecting too much from Kurt Angle. One, I don't want to see Kurt Angle come have a last match.
He not.
He don't need to do that. We saw Kurt Angle's last matches. Yeah. I'm good. I'm fine. I don't need that. Yeah, hard pass. But I don't want to see them bringing out celebrity. Every city. Oh, we got this Hall of Fame. I don't want to see that. So I'm hoping we don't get that. Earl says, man, I'd rather have the hometown hero every week for the pop as long as they're not in the ring wrestling. But I think after a while that kind of gets too cheesy. I don't see that, and that reeks of Vince because that reeks of the GM every week, and which was cool, but after a while it's like, you're not really getting GMs that people, we don't really feel like they really matter. They're just celebrity GMs. They did barely anything, so I'm kind of worried of that. Every now and then, sure, every now and then is fine. Like if they do these two and then don't do another one for another month or so, cool, no problem, But I don't want to see it every week. Because Trish was cool. I wouldn't mind if Trish gets back in the ring. Kurt Angle, no, please God, no. No. So no. There may be one or two that may be an exception because we know they may still be able to be put on one good last match. But for the majority, we know a lot of them aren't coming. No.
Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, for 4 weeks in a row, a full entire month, we have come to you live, watching 3 hours of Monday Night Raw, giving y'all a GOW Monday Night Raw review right after. Oh my God, wrestling must be in a shift because this ain't happened in years. Oh my goodness.
At least in a year. at least in about a good year, we ain't did a Raw review. Well. I think we did the WrestleMania after WrestleMania one, but that was just like I think we regretted that quickly. Or the draft, that supposed draft they had it. Yeah, we regretted that shit real quickly. But yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a fucking minute.
Raw is better than SmackDown now, which ironically
it is, man. I don't know. Honestly, I don't. Now I know we say, well, man, Raw needs to go to 2 hours. SmackDown is 2 hours, So is it the time or is
Yeah.
it the quality of wrestling? Because I wanted to bring that up on a different show, but because we're going to get out of here. But I wanted to bring that up, man. Do we? I mean, you can say, well, maybe you can have a draft and spread the quality of wrestling. You could do that, but we're watching a 3 hour show be great. We're
Yeah.
watching a 2 hour show be shitty. So it's like, do we really want to get rid of 3 hours or do we just want to shake things up? And do shaking things up really help? And so do we want to get rid of 3 hours and shake things up or just get rid of 3 hours and then see where it goes? Like, I don't know, but I've kind of seen that for the last couple of weeks, how people still want Raw to go down, but they've been liking the show, but SmackDown has been lacking
Yeah.
because you're not really putting on anything worth watching.
Yeah, and my thing is, even though Raw has been pretty much, pretty good the last, month or so, for the most part, I will say the 3 hours have been watchable, but I still wouldn't mind you cutting that down to at least a half hour. I wouldn't mind a 2.5. It ain't got to be two and a half maybe. But then again, because my thing is this, it's great now, but how it's like that honeymoon phase, right? Because we got new leadership, so there's new excitement. We're getting a vibe we haven't gotten in a while. But this is like CM Punk, with AEW. It was cool to see him coming out, starting off AEW every single night for the first 2 or 3 weeks. A year later, it's like, all right, CM Punk, I'm happy to see you, but I don't have that same excitement as when he first came back. Triple H, same thing. Everything he's doing now incrementally seems better and better and better, more and more fresh, because we had the same thing from Vince for the last 20 some years since, the wars. Now, my thing is this: there's only so much newness Triple H is going to be able to, put out there before it's kind of like, all right, either we'll get tired of every single week it's a new debut, or we'll get tired of every single week it's something else. And then it's kind of like, I think that's where you're really going to be able to, okay, you know what, 4 or 5 months from now, do you still want to see 3 hours, or do you want to change it?
I agree with you, but I think for Triple H is that he's got to reestablish his superstars or his
That's fair.
wrestlers.
That's fair.
He's got to reestablish these guys because one, the main problem is, as much as I like seeing Edge, Edge shouldn't be back wrestling as much as he has been. Like,
Yeah.
Edge is a every now and then kind of come in wrestler. They've been dependent on Edge. Now I get it. Edge was gone. He had the surgery. He had to retire early. He wants to get that last little run in. But Edge can't go like that. So I don't mind Edge coming back after maybe, miss a month or two, come back for a big pay-per-view like Clash at the Castle. You could come back for something like that. Like that's cool. You got Survivor Series in a couple months. You can come back for something like that. Like every now and then, what I'm saying? Spread it out a little bit. But WWE has to reestablish who their stars are. Roman Reigns is a star. Kevin Owens is a star. Seth Rollins is a star. Matt Riddle is now a star. Randy Orton is still a star. He's still relevant. Drew is a star. Bobby's a star. AJ Styles is a star. You got Bianca, Becky, Charlotte. You got those stars, okay? But some of them have become now the veterans, especially the way Vince has kind of built some of them. They've kind of become oh man, you kind of force them, a lot of these people, down our throats so much that it's like, man, what else you got? And I think now with Triple H, we'll have so much that when we see new matchups, we see new rivalries, we see people doing something we always wanted to see them do. I think that will keep the freshness. The question will be, like you said, the 3 hours, but uh, just being able to have the talent that he wants to use and them coming through with the opportunity. He's going to present the opportunity for you. You got to do your part. Can they do their part? We have seen people we wish, man, he's got it. If he does his part, he's good, and they don't do their part. So it's not just always been WWE, even though a lot of times it seemed that way. It's always been the other side too. So I'm just hoping that all this talent that Triple H wants to put out, that he's gonna give them opportunity, and they're gonna step up or go back to catering.
Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, ain't no catering over here, but if there was, it'd be delicious. Wink, wink. With that being said,
Hell
ladies
yeah,
and
we use
gentlemen,
seasoning over here.
with that being said,
Shit.
thank you once again for tuning in to
Shit.
another episode of GOW, the Generation Wrestling
Catering food be dry as fuck.
It's always
Them dry as fucking fish. What kind of damn fucking chicken is this, man? How you gonna cook chicken and put parsley on it? What is this, man? Like, come on, man. What is parsley? That's not a damn seasoning.
dude, them potatoes be hard as hell. It's like eating a
Oh
bowl of
my
Captain
god,
Crunch.
dude. Oh, be like, dude, how do you overcook steamed potatoes? God damn. Like that.
Hey, man,
Motherfucker, there's steamed potatoes. You steam these bitches.
them eggs be runny as hell. It's like
Oh my
the dead
god.
chickens is on the plate crying.
Oh my god. Like, dude, wow. How? Yeah, no, our catering be way better. Our catering loves us. But go ahead, man. Send us home, man.
With that
I
being
just had to
said,
say that. I just had to say that real quick.
before we end up in the Forbes list with no jobs, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode.
Hey, he said no names. I don't know what you talking about.
Hey, we gonna fuck around and get
Hey, look
released
at-
do the budget cuts.
Hey, who gonna release us? Us? We the bosses. Who's releasing us? We are the GOW. They ain't got no choice but to listen to what we got to say. All right, man. We fuck with y'all, man. Hey, we've been off for 2 days, man. We miss y'all, man. We gotta have some fun. But hey, I think we're gonna have to do a show tomorrow, man. Just talking news and wrestling and stuff like that. So we'll send a notification out if it happens. But other than that, franchise for the final time. Send us home.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, let's get ready to get the fuck out of here. It's yours truly, the 29-year-old piece of gold. He's too cold, and we'll see you when we see you. Peace.